Have you ever heard about the human T-cell lymphotropic virus type 1 or HTLV1? This is not your everyday topic of conversation, but it's a subject of great importance in the world of medical science. HTLV1 is a human retrovirus, a member of the Delta retrovirus genus, and it's a bit of a troublemaker in our bodies. This microscopic agent is notorious for its role in causing adult T-cell leukemia lymphoma, also known as ATL, and HTLV1-associated myelopathy tropical spastic paraparesis, or HAM-TSP for short. In layman's terms, it's a virus that can lead to some serious health conditions. But there's more to HTLV1 than meets the eye. Its complexity and unique mechanisms of action make it a fascinating subject for researchers and clinicians alike. So, let's delve into the complex world of HTLV1. To understand how HTLV1 works, we must first explore its molecular structure. HTLV1 is an enveloped virus with a positive sense single-stranded RNA genome. This genome encodes for structural proteins, including GAG, NV, and PRO, as well as regulatory proteins TAX and REX. These proteins play a significant role in the virus's life cycle, from entry into host cells to replication and assembly. Now let's talk about HTLV1's target, primarily CD4 plus T cells. It binds to the glucose transporter GLUT1 and other receptors on the cell surface to gain entry. Though it prefers CD4 plus T cells, HTLV1 isn't picky. It can also infect CD8 plus T cells, B cells, and myeloid cells, showing its adaptability. The viral oncoprotein TAX plays a pivotal role in the transformation of these cells and ultimately leukemogenesis. TAX is a master of manipulation, dysregulating various cellular pathways. These pathways include NFKB, CREB, AP1, and PI3K/ACT, leading to increased cell proliferation, survival, and genomic instability. Not only that, TAX also disrupts DNA repair mechanisms and telomerase activity, contributing to chromosomal abnormalities and cellular immortalization. It's like a tiny saboteur, reprogramming the cell to its own advantage. But how does HTLV1 manage to stick around for so long? The answer lies in its ability to evade the host's immune response. It's like a master of disguise, down-regulating viral antigen expression and impairing antigen presentation, making itself invisible to the host's immune system. HTLV1 establishes a lifelong persistent infection, particularly in CD4 plus T cells, using strategies like clonal proliferation and viral spread through the virological synapse. It's a bit like setting up a secret base within enemy territory. So we've seen that HTLV1 is a complex virus with unique molecular mechanisms. It's a master manipulator, transforming host cells, disrupting normal cellular pathways, and evading the immune system to establish persistent infection. Having understood its molecular mechanisms, let's now look at how this virus gets transmitted and its prevalence. So how does this virus spread? And where is it most prevalent in the world? An interesting question indeed. Let's dive right in. HTLV1 primarily spreads through infected cells present in bodily fluids like breast milk, semen, and blood. The main routes of transmission are mother to child, which is also referred to as vertical transmission, sexual contact, and exposure to contaminated blood products. Now, let's take a look at the global picture. HTLV1 is endemic, meaning it's regularly found in several regions. These include southwestern Japan, the Caribbean, specific parts of South America, and Africa. It's estimated that approximately 5 to 10 million individuals globally are infected with HTLV1. What makes some people more likely to contract this virus? Well, risk factors for HTLV1 infection include prolonged breastfeeding, sexual promiscuity, and exposure to contaminated blood products or needles. Let's switch gears to talk about the diseases associated with this virus. HTLV1 is the causative agent of adult T-cell leukemia, lymphoma, or ATL for short. ATL is an aggressive and often fatal malignancy of mature CD4 plus T cells. But that's not all. The virus is also linked to HTLV1-associated myelopathy, tropical spastic paraparesis, a chronic inflammatory neurological disorder characterized by progressive spastic paraparesis. In summary, the spread of HTLV1 is primarily through bodily fluids, and it is most prevalent in certain geographical regions around the globe. The risk factors for infection include prolonged breastfeeding, sexual promiscuity, and contact with contaminated blood products or needles. The virus is associated with diseases such as ATL and a chronic inflammatory neurological disorder. Now that we know how it spreads and the diseases it causes, let's look at the ongoing research and therapeutic approaches. With a virus as complex as HTLV1, what are scientists doing to understand it better and combat its effects? The answer lies in relentless research and development of therapeutic strategies. To begin, current research is heavily focused on decoding the molecular mechanisms of HTLV1 mediated oncogenesis. This involves a deep dive into the virus's structure, its unique proteins, and the pathways it exploits to cause diseases. The viral oncoprotein tax, for instance, is a key player in cellular transformation and leukemogenesis, making it a prime target for study and drug development. But understanding the virus is just the start. Once we've unlocked the secrets of HTLV1, the next step is to develop therapies that can target these mechanisms. One promising avenue is the development of drugs that target viral proteins like tax. By impeding the function of these crucial proteins, we might be able to halt the progression of diseases caused by HTLV1. And it's not just about developing new drugs. Clinical trials are currently underway to evaluate the efficacy of combination chemotherapies, monoclonal antibodies, and immune-based approaches for treating diseases like ATL. These trials are critical for determining whether these therapies are safe and effective, and they bring us one step closer to a potential cure. Of course, prevention is just as important as treatment. That's why scientists are also working on strategies to prevent the spread of HTLV1. This includes screening blood products for the virus and promoting safe breastfeeding practices, especially in regions where HTLV1 is endemic. In the end, it's a multi-pronged approach. We're not just trying to treat the diseases caused by HTLV1, but also to understand the virus, prevent its spread, and hopefully eradicate it altogether. The fight against HTLV1 is ongoing, but with continued research and preventive measures, there's hope for a world free of this virus. As we continue to learn and innovate, there's no telling what breakthroughs the future may hold.